The coronation of King Charles III will mark a turning point in history. The symbolism is rooted in centuries of history, from the venue of Westminster Abbey to the coronation oath. One emblem, the coronation stone, also known as the Stone of Scone or Stone of Destiny, has a particularly problematic history. An ancient, rectangular chunk of sandstone weighing roughly 152 kilograms will be placed beneath the gilded coronation chair. The stone is a symbol of medieval Scotland, and it was regularly utilised in Scottish monarchs' inauguration ceremonies until its capture by King Edward I. Although the stone is now housed in the Scottish Crown Jewels at Edinburgh Castle, it was held in London under the throne at Westminster from its acquisition in 1296 until its current location. The coronation ceremony has allowed the stone to be analysed anew. A fresh 3D image was developed to aid in the relocation of the stone to Westminster, displaying hitherto unreported markings that indicate more about the stone's history. The use of the stone at Charles III's coronation, however, reminds us of the significance of historical items in present politics. Since its return to Westminster has been contentious, this article was written as part of our coverage of King Charles III's coronation. The coronation of a British monarch for the first time since 1953 occurs at a critical juncture for the monarchy, the royal family, and the Commonwealth. More royal commentary can be found in our coverage of Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee and her death in September 2022. It should come as no surprise that this old emblem of Scottish statehood was considered during the recent Scottish National Party leadership election. Former SNP leader Alex Salmond stated that the stone should not be returned to London, and the issue was raised at a party hustings. The Stone of Scone was an important part of the ceremonial that inaugurated Scotland's medieval monarchs at Scone Palace in Perth. The monarch sits directly on top of the Stone of Scone on the coronation chair. At the period, Scottish kings were not crowned, thus the term inauguration rather than coronation. Other items were required to provide the veneer of legitimacy that medieval politics required. During the event, the king sat on the stone, which represented a firm foundation for the kingdom's security and stability. The stone was taken by King Edward I as a sign of the end of Scottish sovereignty. This was in punishment for the Scottish failure to support his military endeavours in France, instead siding with the French. Despite the fact that English kings never firmly established their conquest of Scotland. The stone stayed in London for 7 centuries. The English king's throne atop the inauguration stone was a striking visual image for how medieval English rulers saw their control, or overlordship, over Scotland. 2 instances in the 20th century demonstrate how the stone became a significant symbol once more. For Glasgow University students who backed Scottish independence stole the stone from Westminster Abbey and returned it to Scotland on Christmas Day 1950. A few months later, it was discovered at Arbroath Abbey. One of the students' sons has weighed in on the current discussion, stating that it should not be included in the coronation ritual. In 1996, the stone was permanently restored to Scotland, 700 years after it was first removed. This was a time when Scottish identity was a hot topic, thanks to the devolution campaign and the establishment of a Scottish Parliament.